Welcome to the second intermission report. We now return to the voice of your Texas Stars, Owen Newkirk.
And welcome back, everybody, live here in the second intermission report. Here live in Charlotte as the Checkers and Stars are tied at 1. And for, I think, the third time this year, it's my privilege to welcome the Dallas Stars General Manager, Joe Nieuwendyk, to our broadcast. And, Joe, it's been a rather eventful last week or two for you and all the members of the Dallas Stars. Without going into too much detail, has this been one of the busier lead-ups to the trading deadline of your tenure in Dallas?
Well, I think so. I think this year, you know, in some ways has been a little bit similar because we've been in a certain same position, you know, in that 8, 9, 10 spot, and this year was no exception. But I really felt that this year, you know, it made sense to do the moves that we did, and it's funny how things happen, Owen. The team is playing the best hockey that they've played all season long, and you know, led by some kids that you know very well.
And that, for Texas Stars fans listening to tonight's broadcast, it's always exciting, and particularly for me, rewarding to see the guys that come through the Texas Stars organization go up and not just make it to the Dallas Stars, but make an impact. And a guy like Alex Chason is absolutely making that impact right now for Dallas.
Well, he really is, and it's a credit to what we've been able to do here the last couple seasons in Texas with the amount of picks that we've had, the amount of prospects that we brought into the system, and Willie and Doug Lidster and Scott White have done a tremendous job getting these kids ready, and now they become players for us. And Matt Fraser's another guy who's up with us right now. Is just, you know, he's getting more and more comfortable each and every game that he plays. But Bachman's in the net for us now because Kari's hurt. So, you know, a lot of familiar faces that are playing for us.
Tell me, how satisfying, as from a general manager's perspective, is it to see somebody that you've drafted or you've gone out and acquired to come in either right away or to come through the Texas system and get up to Dallas and then succeed?
Well, I think it's critical that it has to happen that way. You know, the days of buying your team July 1st are over, and it becomes very expensive. So you have to draft well, and you have to develop your kids. And we really feel strongly that we've got, you know, probably the best development system in the entire AHL right there in Cedar Park. And I can't say enough about the job that these guys have done. And we have, as you can see, we've made some deals at the deadline that have added a lot more prospects to our pool here with some of the D we've added, and Brett Ritchie being up now. Texas fans are going to be familiar with that name, so the future is bright.
Well, you mentioned Brett Ritchie. His first shot, second shift of his pro career with the Texas Stars, he scores. And everybody thinks, okay, that's exciting, but it might have just been a fortunate instance, and he was in the right place. Then he scores again. Then he scores tonight on a lethal wrist shot. And all of a sudden, it's not so much a coincidence. It's starting to become the norm. Are you pretty excited about his early development already?
Well, no question. And this experience that he's gaining at the end of this season is only going to help him tremendously moving forward. You know, you just watch his game closely, and you love a lot of the things that he brings. Number one, the size. He's a big man already for 20 years old, and he really works the corners well and really patrols the front of the net well, which are elements that if you want to pay the price of the National Hockey League around the front of the net, you'll be rewarded, and he looks like a kid that enjoys doing that.
Tell me about the guy who joined the Texas Stars today officially, although it was yesterday on the paperwork, from the Finnish Elite League, Jyrki Jokipaka. It's an exciting name, and a guy who has played at the top level of Finland hockey the last 3 seasons. What is something that the Texas Stars fans and the Dallas Stars can expect to see from him?
Well, he's a big body that you know, moves the puck real well, has a good two-way game, and you know, you lose track of some of these kids because they're overseas. But when I'm getting calls from other general managers asking me about Jyrki Jokipaka, you know he's doing something right over there. And so he's had a real good season. He'll be in Texas to take a look and at the program and what's there, and then he'll be with them next season.
When he's healthy, Kari Lehtonen has been outstanding for the Dallas Stars throughout his career. He's been amazing. I know that the Stars in Texas have been pretty pleased with the goaltending that they have. What's your feeling on the way that Jack Campbell has developed so far this year, and the emergence of Christopher Nilstorp in his first season in North America?
Well, you know, I'll take Christopher Nilstorp first. To come over and play North American style hockey the first time in his career, he's had quite an impressive season, and I know that Willie would like to get him going a little bit more here to get him ready for the playoffs. But he's had a tremendous season. He's unfortunately had a few injuries that have kept him out of our lineup from time to time. But Jack Campbell has really been able to flourish with that opportunity. It would have been difficult for him had Christopher been healthy and playing here every night. It's allowed Jack to get a lot of games, a lot of experience, and I think that's going to be great for his development moving forward. You mentioned the coaches. How pleased have you been with Willie Desjardins and Doug Litzer working the farm system this season? Well, we couldn't ask for better people here to take care of these kids. Willie's a passionate hockey man, as you know. He's 24/7, lives and breathes hockey, and I think the message comes every day for these kids, and it's a good message, and he's had to make some tough decisions too on resting certain individuals on any given night, and those are not easy decisions for a coach. I think they're good lessons from time to time for these young kids, and he's really got all of their attention. But the one thing that players want is they want to know why you're doing something and how you can be successful doing it. And Willie has a great way of showing them that. Talking about making those tough decisions, last week the Stars in practice had 12 healthy defensemen, which was good because there were a couple injuries that players were coming back from. But what are the acquisitions of the prospects that you got last week in the trade deadline, as well as some of the prospects the Stars already have in Texas, do for the future for Dallas? Because there are a lot of young, very high potential defensemen in the system right now. Well, and I think that's a good problem to have. Obviously, they're not all going to play for the Dallas Stars. Some of them may make it to the NHL, maybe in other uniforms, but it's certainly nice to have that competition, not only here, but up with our club as well. And you find over the course of a season that defensemen are in high demand with a lot of teams around the National Hockey League. We're getting a great look at at Kevin Connaughton and Cameron Gauntz now, and Alexiak is developing, and Jordy Ben is a good prospect for us. So you're right, we have a real deep pool of defensemen, but obviously that's a good problem to have. And we didn't anticipate that Brendan Dillon would have the type of year that he had for us this year as well. So he's a fixture with us, and it's nice to have some of these other kids knocking on the door as well. Coming up in about a week and a half, the Stars will enter the playoffs for the third time in 4 years. How valuable is it for the AHL players in the Dallas Prospect organization to get that postseason experience in the AHL? Well, this is really important for them. I remember on the run they went to the Calder Cup final, the experience for a kid like Jamie Benn and some of those other kids as well. This is a real good team, and we suspect that they're going to make a good run here. They've got all the elements in place, so it should be fun to watch. There are multiple CBA rules of the new thing that I don't necessarily need to get into at the moment, but there are 2 guys up in Dallas, or 3 now if you count Jordy Ben, along with Chason and Frazier, that could come back and play for Texas. You got to forget first that, of course, the first job is for the Dallas Stars to make the playoffs and win a Stanley Cup, and you guys are right on the doorstep right now. Tell me, what was the decision that led to guys like Dillon, Eakin, and Roussel, guys who played with the Texas Stars during the lockout, to determine that they were bona fide NHL players now? Well, I think Brendan Dillon's played an awful lot of hockey. He's probably, him and Robida are leading our team in minutes played. He's up over 22 minutes. He's really established himself. Cody Eakin, the same thing. I think when we put him back in the minors last year during the lockout, we knew that he was a guy that was going to fill a need for us. So, in the case of Roussel, that was a little bit of a difficult one because I know he brings a lot of energy and passion for this team here as well. We're really hopeful that we will make the playoffs and he'll be an important member for us. But there's also the World Championships for his home country in France where he can participate as well. But, he plays a style that's been very good for our hockey club as well. A couple other guys have made their mark up in Dallas since that trade thing. It seems like Eric Nystrom has made a nice little run, Vernon Fiddler, and a guy like Tom Wandel, who came down for Texas for a little while, back in the mix. It seems like there's almost some second chances for some of those guys. Yeah, there really is, and they're really thriving with it. It's always difficult when guys like Fiddler and Nystrom feel that they're getting pigeonholed in that fourth line role, and we've never really felt that way. With Cody Eakin establishing himself as a third line center, we felt we had kind of 3A and 3B, but those guys have really flourished with the extra minutes that they're getting now because of the departure of Derek Roy. And they're doing a great job. Eric Cole with that line, they've been arguably our best line over the last 2 or 3 games. So you know, it's all going all cylinders right now, but we don't have any room for error. We have to play that way.
I won't keep you any longer. Last question. You talk about guys who want to get to the top 6 or maybe the top 9, but how important is it at the NHL level to have the ability to roll 4 dangerous lines? Texas Stars it's been their bread and butter all years to be able to wear teams out with their tempo and 4 very good lines.
Yeah, I think it's important over the course of a long season that you have lines that can play, and this team obviously here plays a really up-tempo style, and the thing you notice about them a lot is their work ethic and how they always hunt down pucks and they keep pucks alive. And you know, now with the addition of some of these D that are very mobile and can move the puck, they should be an exciting team to watch as we go forward. But there's no question that 4 lines that can play is very tough to match up against.
We have a week and a half here in the AHL, a couple weeks left in the NHL regular season. Should be a lot of fun. Joe, thank you so much. Always a pleasure. Really appreciate your time.
All right, my pleasure, Owen. Thank you.
Dallas Stars General Manager Joe Nieuwendyk joining us here in the second intermission. We'll take a break. You're listening to the Texas Stars Hockey Network.